Hi, how are you? I'm Dan Zitofsky from Passive Wealth Academy. Today, I'm on to speak to you. I'm really blessed and honored, and I appreciate you having me on here to speak to the audience. And it's a great blessing, like I said, anytime I get to speak to an audience and really change their mindset on how they can become the bank and how they can earn true passive income, being the bank through the turnkey rentals, private lending, working with private lenders. I love it all this because this has changed my life. I wanted to come on here face to face before I even broke down deals with you because I wanted to tell you a little bit about my story. Um, for anyone who knows me knows I'm in the business now 30 years. I was one of the biggest fix and flippers out there for many years, fixing anywhere from 40, 50 and up, sometimes 80 properties a year. And I was netting no less than 50 to $80,000 property, a lot of times six figures on the properties I did. So you can imagine we were making multiple six-figure incomes. Back then, my life was pretty much, yeah, everyone thought it was picture perfect. A lot of you guys, and I'm saying this not to impress you, I'm saying to impress upon you, because a lot of you guys think that making a lot of money in transactional business is the best thing in the world. And it might be for you, it might not be for you. But the reason I want to bring this forward first, before I get into teaching you about my program and what I do in my business, and I'm not selling you anything, I just want to teach you what I do. And I learned a long time ago to lead with not in scarcity, to share everything you can. If you could help somebody else get to where you've gotten to, you're going to be in a lot better place for the rest of your life, and not just financially, but morally, ethically, and that's just the way I live my life. So back then, I was working 100 plus hours a week, which I'm sure a lot of you understand, making a lot of money. I was buying cars, boats, watches. You see, I still have a pretty large watch collection. Still have a ton of cars, nice cars because I have them already. But I was doing that thinking that I was being the best husband, best father in the world. And unfortunately, when you're not there for your wife, when you're not there for your kids, and all they ever want is you to be there, that really is not what your vision and what your why is. And I learned a long time ago, and that's why I wrote my book. I'm going to grab a copy of it here so you can see it. Passive to Prosperous, and it's exactly what it is: passive income to a prosperous life. And it taught me a long time ago that when they didn't want all the things in life. They didn't want all the cars and the boats and the watches. And I'm not telling you that's a bad thing to get, but I just want you to think about why you're doing this business. And that's why I bring it out here. When I speak at events and I'm on a stage, I bring it out to people and I talk about this for a reason. And the reason is because you have to understand what's your vision, what's your why. Why you're doing what you're doing. Is it because you want to buy a Ferrari? Is it because you want to have your husband, wife, partner stop working, retire early, pay for your kids' college education, leave that 9 to 5 grind that you don't like, whatever it is, you have to understand that. And if you replace one job that you hate for another job that you hate, and you don't see your family, what's the sense of doing it anyway? So that's why I bring it out there, because I want you to put in your head right away. Why is he talking about being the bank? Why doesn't he just keep flipping, 50, 60, 70 properties a year and making, a few $1,000,000 a year, like everybody puts on, social media. I call it fake book. You're not going to see me post pictures of my cars. You're not going to see me post pictures of my watches. You're not going to see me post a picture of my boat. Yes, I have them and I love them. I absolutely love them. But you'll see me post pictures of me spending time with my family, because there's no better thing in the world than time. So I know I don't have a ton of time today, and I want to go through quick PowerPoint fast. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump over there to that whiteboard. That's like a science experiment for me. And I'm going to draw out a sample of a deal for you guys so you can understand how it looks, and maybe your eyes will go pop. Maybe you'll understand. So bear with me, because we're not here in person, but I definitely want to do this for you guys. And I'm going to share. Give me a second here. I want to share this. Oh, I'm going to do this a little differently today because of how we're doing it. Give me a second. Let me share my screen, my PowerPoint, and then I'm going to jump on the board for you. Okay. So once again, guys, we're going to create true passive wealth being the bank. And who am I? Who is Dan Zitofsky? Dan Zitofsky is I'm a real estate investor since 1990. Hate to say it, but 30 years in the industry now. I've done over 2,000, probably approaching 3,000 deals, and over $600 million in real estate transactions. I do everything from fix and flips. I've done multis. I've owned over 800 doors in multifamilies. I'm a big note buyer. I started in the second space. Now I'm in the first space. I buy our REOs from the bank. I buy hotels. I've done land deals. I've done everything from storage facilities. So I've pretty much tried it all. Don't recommend you doing that. Really recommend you focusing on something and going deep rather than wide. I hope that helps. I am considered was top educator for many years through the REIA associations on how to raise $1 million or more in 90 days or less. Yes, I teach that. And I've also raised over $30 million in new money and used it in over $200 million of velocity. So a lot of my training is on teaching how to raise private money. Now, if you could raise private money, do anything you wanted with, think how great your life can be in this business. Think how many deals you could do that you might not have been able to do because you're looking for bank financing or hard money lending. That doesn't work for you. Okay. I've been published in multiple industry publications and podcasts. So I have spoken a lot out there. I speak now internationally. Before the pandemic hit, I was asked to speak in other countries. But I love speaking because I love the one-on-one. I love changing people's lives. And there's no better feeling in the world to do that for people. Okay. One of the best things I could say is, at all my accomplishments, being a husband to an amazing wife and a father to 3 amazing kids, and now to 1 grandson. I have a new grandson. So there's no better feeling in the world than that. If you think you love your kids, wait till you have grandkids. It's true. And one of my things, it took me 7 years and a lot of money to write my book, but I kept changing because I really didn't know what I wanted to get out there. And I didn't just want it to be a how-to book, but I am Amazon's best-selling author, and it's got me a lot of keynote speaking events. And the book is called, as you saw, Passive to Prosperous. So you see that book. If you haven't picked up a copy, that's on Amazon as well, but you can check it out. And it'll do exactly what it is. Stop chasing money and start seeing prosperity through passive wealth. And the way I do that is with rental properties. And I sold off all my multifamilies. So I'm one of those that aren't chasing the multis right now. Single family homes and seller financed notes to investors. And I'm going to break that down and I'm going to show you a little bit more how it works. So I'm going to go through the PowerPoint pretty quick because I know we only have a certain amount of time. And I want to get to the board and draw some out for you. Is that cool? I know you're probably clapping right now saying, heck yeah, that's cool. I want to see the board. I don't care about you. I'm talking about you guys. You don't care about me and all I've done. I hate even telling people all I've done. I'd rather just get to your questions and make this about you guys. So what we're going to cover today is I'm going to go through quickly on some of this stuff. The massive action plan, why being a bank is the ultimate passive income plan. Okay, how to do your bio and business plan. Everybody here should have a bio and a business plan. A lot of times people don't do that. It's very important to do that because when you meet with an investor or a lender, you want to be able to hand that to them. Okay, you want to show you're professionals. What type of deals do you do? A lot of people don't know. Like I said, I've done all these different type of deals, but now essentially it's seller financing on single family homes in emerging markets. Okay, how can you retrieve cash? Okay, how to think like a bank. But importantly, I retrieve my cash on my deals generally pretty quick, not even 12 to 18 months. But if you do your deals right in 12 to 18 months, you should be able to retrieve all your money on a deal. And then your returns become infinite at that point because you have no money left in a deal. Okay, your lenders are paid back. Your private lenders are paid back. They want to fund your next deal. And it's just a cycle. It's systemic. It's a system. People, processes, and systems. That's what I teach, people, processes, and systems. Okay, so start thinking like that. Start thinking like a bank. Okay, and investors will be falling all over themselves to fund your deals. When you show them how powerful your deals are, you'll never ask for money. Okay, I never ask for money from investors. Okay, how to break down a deal. I'm going to show you that on board, how to break down a deal. And we're going to talk a little bit about partials and collateral assignments and how that's huge for your business. Once you learn that, that's the magic and that's the pudding to the cake that you need to understand. Okay. So your massive action plan, what is it you're looking to do? Okay. You need to come out with a massive action plan. Okay. This is what I'm looking to do. I'm looking to earn passive income. I'm looking to do it through turnkey rental properties in emerging markets. How am I going to find the properties? How am I going to find my lenders? Okay. And I tell you this because I want you to be careful. Too many, like before I have a student, first thing I tell them is stay off social media. Stay off social media because you're going to go like this. You're going to be all over the place. You have no plan of action. When you get in your car and you drive somewhere, you put something in navigation and you try to go to the fastest point from A to B. Okay. You don't try to go around everything, waste time. Okay. And that's what social media is. Get an action plan. And that action plan, let me break it down real quick. If you have to call on asset managers, You have to find, let's say, 50 asset managers a week. You have to call on 30 of them every week. You have to email 30 of them every week. You need to have an action plan. How do I find the asset managers? How do I call them? What do I say? How do I follow up? How do I email them? What do I do? Okay, that's your action plan. So Monday at 10 o'clock, you start making calls. At 12 o'clock, you do emails. That's your action plan. So I really want you to focus on your action plan. That's the most important first step of any investor, is once they decide what they want to do, is taking that massive action plan to get there. I hope that helps you guys. Okay. And your massive action plan is right when we went over your goals, your timeline, who you are, and your marketing plan. I'm not going to spend too much more time on that now. I think you get the gist on how to do that. Okay. And then your elevator pitch. This is so important, guys. If I'm at an event speaking to you, or if you're trying to raise private money, or you're doing anything, and people ask you, what do you do? If I was to ask you right now, what do you do? I don't care if you're in your house watching this. I don't care if you're in a conference room. I don't care if you're in an event where I have 300 to 500 people there. What do you do? Every single person, stand up right now and tell us what you do. And I'm hearing it. I'm hearing it, guys. I'm hearing you. I'm hearing people like, I'm a real estate investor. I'm an engineer. I buy real estate. I fix properties. If you haven't said that, you're lying to me. You're lying to me. I know you're saying that, because that's what I get at every event I speak at. Guys, you have to lock down your elevator pitch. You have to have it down pat. And it's 30 seconds or less. My elevator pitch is this. I'm going to tell it to you right now. Get ready. How you doing? My name's Dan Zitofsky, Passive Wealth County. What do? I raise capital to provide better than average returns to my investors, buying turnkey rentals and turning them into passive income by being the bank. My name is Dan Zitofsky. I raise capital, buying properties that can rehab and sell, providing better than average returns to my investors. My name is Dan Zitofsky. I raise capital to buy multifamily properties, providing better than average returns to my investors. My name is Dan Zitofsky. I raise capital to buy first position mortgage notes, providing better than average returns to my investors. You see what I'm saying? That you could change it to what you do. But your name, okay, if they already know your name, what do? I raise capital. First thing I say is I raise capital. Because if you don't tell people you raise capital, they don't know what you do, okay? You raise capital, my eyes open, my ears open. What do? I buy properties that I rehab and provide better, and for tenants in emerging markets, providing better than average returns to my investors. Well, what does that mean? What kind of returns? I'm glad you asked. Right now, we're at a dinner party. What I'd love to do is get your name and number. Let's have a conversation later on. Okay? So once again, that's your elevator pitch. I hope, if nothing else, you coming to the event, you being here right now and hearing my elevator pitch should be able to net you at least a few $100,000 in your next dinner meeting. Okay? And here it is, guys. If you want to copy that, go ahead. Go ahead. I would love you to use it. I'll give you a second. I'll take a drink of water. I'd love you to copy that. Because I want you to be able to raise all the money you need so you never have to count on a hard money lender or a bank ever again for your business. Because this business only works if you raise money. What I'm going to teach you only works if you raise private money or you have your own money. And there's only so much money you can have by yourself. Okay? So when you want to put together your bio and your business plan. And here's a little bit about our bio, our humble beginnings. We talk about it. And I make it look professional, what we do. I'm not going to spend too much time on it right now. Where we invest, right now I'm in Delaware, Dayton, Ohio, Birmingham, Alabama, Cleveland, Ohio, and Charlotte, North Carolina. I've been all over the United States. I stay in emerging markets. What is an emerging market? I could spend a whole day. I mentor people a whole day on emerging markets. But emerging market is basically an area that's building up, a lot of job growth, a lot of infrastructure, low crime, good schools, entertainment. I like to be in a B to C area, B plus to C plus area. I like to be in that 1% rent to value ratio because those numbers work. And I'm going to show you that on the board. Okay. That's really what I like. I like landlord friendly. I like to have, I don't want to be in the rural area. Okay. I don't want to be in a class D area. And just so you know, if you're not familiar with class A, B, C, D, A is your really high-end areas, your really suburban high-end areas. Your D is your drug-infested, crime-infested areas. They look great on paper. You'll just never see those returns. I like to be in the blue to white collar area. Okay. That's really what I like to be. Okay. So we're talking about how do we get our deals funded? Your investors, these are a lot of places your investors are. They have self-directed IRAs, solo 401ks, health savings accounts, private and private banking. They have Coverdell accounts, so you can teach them. This is how you raise money. You teach them how to pay their kids. Okay, I just had a meeting today with somebody who has 3 kids going to be in college within the next 4 years, and they have no money put away. So we talked about Coverdell accounts. Now they want to start investing with us. People that have cash and people that have equity in their homes. So there's a ton. People tell me all the time, "Well, I don't know where they get money." Well, there's a ton of places that people have money. You just got to go out and find it without asking for it, and that's something we do. Okay, and you want to create a picture of how investing with you looks like compared to how it looks in the bank. Putting money with you, how much money they make on their money compared to how much they make with their money in the bank. I mean, you can go to bankrate.com, click on CDs. I used to take the USA Today every Thursday and it would tell what the going rate for CDs are. Show that to your investors, okay? Here's a typical deal that we did, okay? This was a non-performing note, which means it's a first position, which means somebody stopped paying. This is where we're gonna get into the how-tos. Somebody stopped paying on their mortgage. The bank sold the paper off. They didn't sell the house. They sold the paper off. I was a note investor. I bought the paper on this, okay? So the house, I'm going to ask you this question. The house had a full market value of $95,000. This is by an appraisal, okay? Not me coming up with a number, not me going on Zillow, not me going on realtor.com, not me going on Hotpads, not me going on Trulia. This is me getting an appraisal from a bank or a BPO company. I mean, a realtor or a BPO company. Okay. This is part of your due diligence. If I was teaching you in a note class, this is one of the things we'd be teaching. Okay. This is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, 1,526 square feet, rents for $850 a month, has an unpaid balance, which means all the money they owe, okay, in mortgage, late fees, legal fees are $85,575. They're a little over 4 years in default, 51 months in default, and it's going to take about 3 months for me to foreclose on this. Okay. What would you pay on that? I'm going to give you time to think about it a second. What would you pay if I came to you right now and said, "Hey, I have this non-performing first mortgage. What would you pay on this?" Knowing all that information. Okay. Now on the bottom, I'm going to break down some of the cost. Okay. It's $2,500 in legal fees to foreclose on the borrower, because I don't own the house. I just own the paper. Remember, as a note investor, I offered them $450 cash for keys. So even though I foreclosed, I said, "I'll give you $450 if you have this place broom swept and you leave on a certain date," which they did. I had to pay $9,000 to get this rehabbed for rent ready, and I rehab them pretty nice. Probably got to get that done cheaper. I over rehab a lot of my properties because I make them maintenance free, and I can go through that at another time. The purchase, okay, of the non-performing note. I'm sorry. We had a 49,450. This is wrong. That's why. Let me fix that. I'm sorry. I gave it away here. I didn't mean to do that. I apologize. Well, I paid $37,500 for that note. Okay, $37,500 for that note. I was all in for $49,450. Okay, $49,450. So let's say $50,000. That loan, okay, full market value, I now have a house worth $95,000. So everybody here is always tripping over themselves trying to find assets. I got this from an asset manager who I had in my massive action plan that I made phone calls to and I followed up with. Okay, so all in, it cost me 50 grand, okay, for a note. Now, if I do nothing else and I just rent this for $850 a month on $50,000, we're going to talk about that later on the whiteboard. Okay. So this is where it gets fun, guys. I paid $37,500 for the note. We're going to talk about the rent I got. I could sell this to a turnkey landlord for a sales price of $90,000 to $100,000. The buyer will put down 30% plus 2 points. I'm going to hold the note, and I'm going to talk about all this. You're going to get me on the whiteboard. I usually don't have the whiteboard one-on-one stage, so you're going to get all that from me. Okay. So you could sell full or partial notes, payments off, so you can get a lot of money back that way. And I'm going to talk about that on the whiteboard. So you're getting the benefit of that, me not going through the PowerPoint to show you that. Okay. Okay, you can do a collateral assignment, which means collateral assignment is basically you're borrowing money against the note you now have. Now I have a note, I can borrow money against that note. You see how it's starting to get fun, guys. Your wheels should be turning up here. Okay, I know it sounds a little bit much, but your wheels should be turning. Okay, this is my beautiful family. Grandson's not in there yet. He wasn't born yet. It's my beautiful family. So that loan, $49,450 turned into $110,000. And here's how. I foreclosed on the property and rehabbed it to make it rent ready, like I said. And I over rehab my properties. I rented in 2 weeks to a qualified tenant. And then I sold this property to a turnkey investor. There's a lot of people that want to be landlords out there, a lot of investors around the world that want to place their money and make themselves some decent returns and own properties. They don't want to do the work. Okay. I never walked in that house. That house is in Memphis, Tennessee. I'm outside of Philly and Delaware. I never walked into the house. I never saw the house. I had a team done. I never swung a hammer. I collected rent and showed up to the closing. And the wire was sent to my house. I mean, to my bank. Okay. After 6 to 12 months, when you sell a partial, sell a note, and when I first started doing this years and years ago, I would sell my notes off and sell partials. Now I keep my notes, but I'll show you how powerful it is to sell them off. After 6 to 12 months, it's a highly desirable note. You can get 85 to 100% of the unpaid balance of that note if it's done properly. Okay. Okay. You don't want to argue on this. You want to meet the investor terms based on how much they have to invest in their goals. So when I say about that, if an investor comes to me and they say, well, I only have $30,000 and I have a $60,000 note, well, I could still have them invest $30,000 against my note. They just don't own the whole thing. They own partial payments. They own a percentage of it. Work with your investors, because a lot of investors might not have a lot of money to invest. They might have $20,000 or may have kids' money, $10,000, $15,000 they want to invest from the Coverdell. So you can work with everybody when you have this. Okay. So an investor that has 20,000 wants 10%. They can get into my note and I'll show you how. Okay. You could sell them on payment and return an investment. Okay. After your investor receives their payments, let's say they buy 6 years of payments, 6 years of payments, that's 72 payments, and you have 180 payments on this note. After the 72nd payment, the loan reverts back to you. You start getting this at the back end, the 73rd and on. Okay, that's a partial. Okay, so you can keep collecting payments after that. You can sell an all partial, or you can sell the whole note. You have so many options, and you focus it on your vision, on your life's vision and your plan. You don't chase. Okay, you have a vision and your plan. Guys, I'm going to get on the whiteboard in a second. Before I do, I want to give you something for free for being on here. I'm not selling you anything, but I'm going to give you. I wrote a little cheat sheet up to give away on this event. So it's my 8 simple steps to investing in real estate, and learn exact steps to follow to make $42,000 every single month by real estate. This is what I've done years ago, what I've had multiple students of mine do. So I just wanted to put it together, a cheat sheet for you guys that you can do that. We don't sell your names. We don't do anything with it. It's my gift for being here. And for you guys, I honor you for being here, and I'm looking forward to jumping on the board. But I wanted to give this to you before I get off. Once again, just go to passivewealthacademy.com/42K. This is free. It's passivewealthacademy.com/42K. It's my free cheat sheet. You'll get to download it right away, and you can see some of the things I've done. If you want to stay in touch, I'll tell you the best way to follow me. It's probably right here is our Facebook group, Become a Real Estate Investor with Dan Zitofsky. Become a Real Estate Investor with Dan Zitofsky. I have a lot of people that hit me up on my personal page. Unfortunately, with the 5,000 friends limit, I just can't be there. We also have a YouTube page on the Zitofsky Capital Management. Zitofsky Capital Management. We're putting a lot of our videos now on YouTube, so we'd love you to get over there, jump in there under Zitofsky Capital Management, and you'll see what we have going on. But I'm going to stop this share, and I'm going to go over to the whiteboard and start talking about a deal, if that's cool with you. Okay, let's turn this over here. Really professional. Okay, I hope you can see everything. I'm going to get up there and start talking about a deal. Okay, just get a drink of water. Bear with me on this. This is not professional office for this, but bear with me. Hopefully you can see. I'm going to take a deal Let me move this over. Give me a second here so you can see a little bit better. I wish you could start yelling at me and stuff. Okay, I'm gonna need my calculator to do this. Okay, my mortgage calculator. But let's say we take a house like that. Okay, I bought the house. I bought that house in Tennessee. Let's say I'm all in it for $50,000. Let me show you. Yeah, you could say, okay, $50,000 is all in. Okay, I'm gonna go here so you can see this. All in was $50,000 for that note in Memphis, Tennessee. Okay, I started cashing. I'm gonna get my calculator here. I started cashing rent checks on that. I think we had 6 months at $850 a month. Okay, minus tax and insurance. I know what my net was because we did this. We were at, with property management, we were right at about $600 a month. Okay, so I had $600 a month times 6 months. And I'm talking about this deal in Memphis, Tennessee. Okay, so I collected $3,600 back. Okay, on my $50,000. Then I took this deal and I sold it to an investor that wanted a turnkey rental for me. And what's cool about this investor is they came to me with $140,000. So if I sold the investor one property at they had $140,000, and I sold this property for $90,000. If I sold them one property, how many can they buy for cash? Because we're not letting them go out to a bank and waiting on mortgage companies and all that. They can only buy one property. You're right. But now I took this investor $140,000 and I said, you can buy my properties with 30% down or $20,000, whichever is greater. And I'll sell a finance for you. I'll hold the note for you at better terms than most commercial lenders will hold. Okay? Because I'll give you a 30-year amortization on these. No reset, no prepayment penalty, none of that. Okay? And I'll do a 10-year balloon instead of a 5-year balloon. Okay, so we sold this house. Once again, watch this. Sold for $90,000. Okay, they put 30% down. Okay, want to write that? You can do whatever you want. That's how I do my deals. So this is cash intake. That's why I'm coming over here. So 30% down on that is $27,000. Okay, so $90,000. Okay, minus 30%. So it's a $63,000 mortgage. Okay, that's their mortgage payment. And that's 30 AM 10 balloon. And they're paying it at 7.99%. Okay, and 2 points. So 2 points on 63,000 is another $1,260. I'm going to start writing here what it is. Points, rent. Okay, so right now we're at 6 months. This is 6 months time frame. So let's add this up for 6 months before we do anything else. Okay, so we have 27,000 plus 3,600. I'm calling it out, so if you want to do this on your own calculator, plus 600 plus 1,260 is 32,460. 6 months. So right now we're only in the deal for 6 months. Okay. So 32,460 divided by $50,000 is a 60. I don't know if you can see this. 65% return. Now here's my little disclaimer. This may not happen for you. Sometimes returns are better than APR. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a lawyer. I don't play one on TV, but I'm going to show you what I do. This is what I do. That's 6 months in. Okay. Now let's get the mortgage payment for them. I'm going to figure it out on my calculator here. Give me a second. You're getting everything, guys, from me. Let's just do this right now. We got a $63,000 mortgage at 7.99%. I'm just doing this again, but we do this all the time. Okay. 30-year loan, $461.84. Actually, I don't care about taxes and insurance right now. Principal and interest, because I'm looking at what I'm making. $461.84. Oh. $461.84. Okay. So now, why that's important is that money now comes to me as the bank. I'm the lender. So yeah, I can make the $850 rent. It's $600 after taxes, insurance, property management, vacancy maintenance, repairs, stuff like that, cleaning. My net is $600. It's actually a little more than $600, but I'm going to be conservative, $600. So now I only make $461, but I don't have to worry about tenants till it's trash. Okay, the investor's making the difference. So $461. Let's take that $461. We're saying let's see where we do on this note in 1 year. Okay, this is where it gets fun, guys. So $461 for the next 6 months is another $27.66. Okay. Principal and interest payments. Okay. Now remember what I told you before. This note gets very powerful after 6 months. After 12 months, it gets extremely powerful. So now I got some people saying, well, yeah, you have $50,000 from your private lender. You have to pay back. You only collected $35,000. So I'm still out $15,000. How about this? I have a $63,000 note. I could do a couple things. I can go to another investor and I can say, Mr. and Mrs. Investor, you have $20,000 in your IRA or your cover note, and that's all you have. You want to be a private lender. Okay, let's say I pay you back, even generally we pay back about 6%, but let's say we pay back 10%. So now we take $20,000. I can take 30, I can take 40, I can take 50, I can take $60,000. I'm only gonna take 20. I don't want to go too far in leverage. So $20,000, right? At 10%, which is $2,000, obviously. Divided by 12. So I have to pay out, right? So borrowed $20,000 from private lender at, let's say 10%, equals 166.67 a month. All right. Now start seeing this, guys. Now I took 20,000. Now I'm in this a full year, right? So now that's 6 months. That's 12 months. Now it's a full year. So let's take these numbers now on a full year, and let's see what our return is. Okay, $32,460 plus $2,766 plus the $20,000 I took from an investor. I borrowed. I've now received $55,226. Okay, check this out. Check this out. This gets really cool. I collect $461. So my private lender gets 116. Okay. I earn from 461. So the mortgage payment comes in at 461 to me. All right. 461.84 minus what I pay my private lender. 345. I'm just going to say 345. Check this out. So check this out, guys. This deal cost me $50,000 to get in. All right. After 12 months, I made $55,226. I could take my $50,000, give it all back to my first lender, and put $5,226 in my pocket. So pay off lender of $50,000, put $5,226 in my pocket. So guys, in 1 year, I paid off the $50,000. I put $5,000 in my pocket. I put $345 in my pocket every single month. And I have another loan for $20,000. My returns are astronomical. Astronomical. There's no number. It's infinite. That's borrowing against this note. Now, here's another way you could do it. I don't have my spreadsheet up here to show you, but I'm going to give you a for instance. Let's say somebody wanted to earn 10% of their money, and they had $20,000. Okay? And that payment is $461.84. Now, there's a time value of money, so it's not going to be exactly correct because it's on my spreadsheet up. But I'm going to show you, I'm going to show you now how to do a partial. You're going to sell partial payment. So let's say we take 461.84 minus 10%. And that's not the exact number, so don't hold me to that. I'm going to sell this $461 payment off for. Let's talk about a partial here. Partial estimate. I'm going to put this because somebody's going to call me and say, well, you're not exactly right. You didn't have, I understand. I don't have my spreadsheet up here. I use a partial calculator to do this. I don't do this in my head. So I have a $461 payment. I'm going to sell the payment, because it's also amortization schedule. You got to take the amortization schedule and figure that out. Okay, but I'm going to sell the payment for estimate $400 and let's say $15. For every payment I sell, the investor is going to give me $415. Okay, so you pay me $415, and then next month you collect $461 estimate. Okay. So the investor is going to make their 10% return on their money. So let's say they have $20,000. Let's just go with that number and say $415 is the payment. Okay. They have $20,000. I'm going to sell them payments at $415. I could sell them about 48 payments. Okay. So sell 48 payments. So that means, and the servicing company handles this all. I use FCI servicing. You can use whatever you want. I'm comfortable with them. I've used them for all my notes. It's very comfortable. So I'm not pitching any servicing companies, but that's who I use. And they set this up for you. So after the 48th payment, it's like a boomerang. It comes right back to you. Isn't that cool? So this is a 30-year AM with a 10-year balloon. 10 years, 120 payments. So after 48th, I get the 49th. I could do it again. So think about this. So they just gave me another. They give me the $20,000 for the partial. So I don't have to borrow money if I don't want to. Because some people are like, oh, you still have a loan for $20,000. Yes, I understand that. you don't have to. You could do a partial and do it that way. Okay. And you still put $5,000 in your pocket. And at the 49th to the balance of the 120th payment is yours. You can sell another partial. You can sell the note. You can keep collecting the note. So that's basically how you think, guys. That's how you become the bank. I'm going to come back to you. And I hope this makes sense. If you want to take a picture somehow of this, you might not remember it all, but you can go through it. You can actually, it could, you know, ideas, the light bulb will go off in your head. I want you to learn how to do this for no other reason than it changed my life. So I'm hoping that it does the same thing for you. Let me come back here and talk to you a little bit. I wish I could answer questions here for you right now. I know you probably have a lot. And just start thinking like that. Once again, I'm Dan Zitofsky. I love doing this. I appreciate being on here with you. And if there's anything you need, just ask questions in the box and hopefully we can get back to you and answer all your questions. But start thinking like the bank. Start building a portfolio. If you truly, truly want to earn passive income so you can decide what you want to do in your life, this is the best way I found to do it. Owning rental properties is the best way to do it for me. In emerging good rental properties with good repairs, with good tenants and good emerging markets, you will do well. All right. Wish you guys all the best. Have a great year and believe in yourself. And remember, stick with your vision and you're going to do great. Love you all. Bye-bye.